Okay, hello. Looks like we are live and looks like we are almost live. There we go. What's up, everybody? We are reading a chapter from The Creative Act. This is my version of morning devotions. I mean, I got a Bible here too, but I did plenty of that in my life. This is sometimes a helpful way to start my day. So we're first. Hi, I'm Jim. Let's read. We're reading a chapter called Patience. It's on page 113 in case you want to follow along at home. We are live on both Substack and YouTube. So first, leave a comment to let us know where you are watching this video. Are you on this one or this one? Or go check out the other one. Okay, let's read. Patience. There are no shortcuts. The lottery winner isn't ultimately happy after their sudden change of fortune. I need a pen. I anticipate underlining. The home built hastily rarely survives the first storm. The single sentence summary of a book or news event is no substitute for the full story. We often take shortcuts without knowing it. When listening, we tend to skip forward and generalize the speaker's overall message. We miss the subtleties of the point, if not the entire premise. I just want to pause and say, when was this book written? Because this feels like a commentary on short form culture, which is nothing new. Twitter, in many ways, was the first. 2023, Rick Rubin. So this is just a few years back. So TikTok was TikToking, and YouTube Shorts was starting. I think Instagram Reels was everywhere. All these, swipification of reality was happening, even more than just the 180, 140 characters. That's what it was originally of a tweet. No shortcuts. I think of that with my marathon training. I'm training for a marathon in about a month, and I'm behind on my training. There are no shortcuts. You got to just put your feet on the pavement and run, or the trail, or the treadmill, whatever you're running on. Okay, back to the book. We often take shortcuts without knowing it. When listening, we tend to skip forward and generalize the speaker's overall message. We miss the subtleties of the point, if not the entire premise. In addition to the assumption that we are saving time, this shortcut also avoids the discomfort of challenging our prevailing stories, and our worldview continues to shrink. Oh. So we think we're saving time by taking these shortcuts, but we avoid the discomfort of challenging our prevailing stories, and our worldview continues to shrink. This echoes a lot of what was said in a previous chapter about listening, and that was the previous chapter. Look at that. It's been a while. Okay, you should all read this book. Let's keep going. The artist actively works to experience life slowly and then to re-experience the same thing anew, to read slowly and to read and read again. I might read a paragraph that inspires a thought, and while my eyes continue moving across the page in the physical act of reading, my mind may still be lost in the previous idea. I'm not taking in information anymore. When I realize this, I return to the last paragraph I can recall and start reading from there again. Sometimes it's 3 or 4 pages back. Yes, guilty. I will say, reading out loud on a video definitely changes that, because when I do want to think, I'm just going to narrate my thinking. So it's a good way to force you to read slowly, because you separate the talking from the reading, and the reading is done blah, 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 not just rereading. Even a well-understood paragraph or page can be revelatory. New meanings, deeper understandings, inspirations, and nuance arise and come into focus. Reading, in addition to listening, eating, and most physical activities, can be experienced like driving. We can participate either on autopilot or with focused intention. So often we sleepwalk through our lives. Consider how different your experience of the world might be if you engaged in every activity with the attention you might give to landing a plane. Oh, there's something to say about mindfulness and just presence, and you can't rush that. Oh, what is it? Why do we eat breakfast? To eat breakfast. You can say I eat breakfast to get ready for the day and to fuel my body. And can it just be to be present with this thing I'm doing? I try to do that. That's how I try to do a cup of coffee in the morning. I try to be present with making it and taking that first sip. And then I usually get caught up in reading something while I'm drinking it, or a kid, or making lunches for school or whatever. But running is sometimes that for me. But even that, sometimes I'm thinking about next video I'm going to make and where I'm going to put the camera and what I'm saying and thinking about something. But can we be present with just the thing right now? Can we give it can we engage in every activity with the attention you might give to landing a plane? We need to land more planes. I like this. There are those who approach the opportunities of each day like crossing items off to-do lists. instead of truly engaging and participating with all of themselves. Guilty. Our continual quest for efficiency discourages looking too deeply. This is conflicting. Oh, convicting is what it is. Our continual quest for efficiency discourages looking too deeply. Wow. The pressure to deliver doesn't grant us time to consider all possibilities. It's through deliberate action and repetition that we gain deeper insight. Patience is required for the nuanced development of your craft. Patience is required for taking in information in the most faithful way possible. Patience is required for crafting a work that resonates and contains all that we have to offer. He wrote those like more like poetic stanzas. So even that made me be patient with it and read it differently. Oh, every phrase of an artist's work and life benefits from cultivating this achievable habit. Patience is developed much like awareness through an acceptance of what is. Impatience is an argument with reality, the desire for something to be different from what we are experiencing in the here and now. A wish for time to speed up, tomorrow to come sooner, to relive yesterday, or close your eyes and then open them and find yourself in another place. Man, I mean, I'm thinking about just the moment we're living in right now where we've had, a president threatening genocide via tweets or whatever version of Twitter he's using called Truth Social, and the awe of astronauts circling the moon and landing in the ocean. There's just so much, like, we wish it was some other version. I mean, even a slogan like "Make blank great again" is just not being present with what is now and patient for what it's going to take for it to become next. Okay. Time is something we have no control over, you're telling me. So patience begins with acceptance of natural rhythms. The implied benefit of impatience is to save time by speeding up and skipping ahead of those rhythms. Paradoxically, this ends up taking more time and using more energy. It's wasted effort. When it comes to the creative process, patience is accepting that the majority of the work we do is out of our control. We can't force greatness to happen. All we can do is invite it and await it actively, not anxiously, as this might scare it off, simply in a state of continual welcoming. If we remove time from the equation of a work's development, what we're left with is patience, not just for the development of the work, but for the development of the artist as a whole. Yeah, there you go. Even the masterpieces that have been produced on tight timelines are the sum of decades spent patiently laboring on other works. Oh, I love that. There's the work you don't see before this thing that you do. Yeah. If there's a rule to creativity that's less breakable than the others, it's that the need for patience is ever present. If there's a rule for creativity that's less breakable than the others, that's an interesting phrase. It's that the need for patience is ever present. I mean, we live in a very impatient world, right? Not just what's being said here, but like, I think about how my kids watch cartoons. They never have to ask what time is this show on. It's what station is it on? Where do we find the show? Is it Netflix? Is it Disney? Is it whatever platform we're streaming from? That alone is a different kind of patience. Or I don't know. This is the tension. Right now, I'm watching For All Mankind and The Boys, two shows that are streaming on Apple TV and Amazon Prime, and I have to wait every week for each episode. I had been watching Shrinking on Apple TV, but I paused to go back and rewatch it with my wife, and we're like in the beginning of season 2, and season 3 just ended. So that's an example of all I have to wait for is us to have time to watch it together. So it's a different kind of patience. The show is out. We could binge as much as we want as long as we have the time for it. But like a show that's coming out week after week, I have to wait every 7 days to watch it. And that's rare in our society. Like whole albums are just dropped overnight and we can stream it all. What if artists would drop an album track by track, not just pre-release the single and then the whole album, but like we got it snippet by snippet. Like, how do we cultivate patience in just our lives, society? I guess I'm running like theologically in faith communities. How does this work? We're impatient people. That's just part of the water it seems like we're swimming in. So what does it mean? Maybe this is what I'm thinking of now. A new project I'm working on, which has not launched. Here's the official announcement. It's called 1 Hour Later. So look for this maybe starting in a week or two, whenever I have time to get it started. It's going to be a project that invites us to challenge our impatience. And it's my anti-retention strategy of YouTube content, where maybe you're still watching this. Great. Hi, good to see you. But this is going to be a video series where the challenge is how long can you watch? And I'm going to go on a run like I do, or I aspire to do. I'm a little behind on my running. And on my long run each week, I'm going to bring my GoPro, I'm going to set it someplace, and I'm going to hit record. And then I'll come back an hour later and I'll pick it up and I'll post that video as a video on YouTube 1 hour later. And so the challenge is how long can you watch this video, which is not really made to keep you watching. It's a challenge of presence and being in one moment, not doing other things. Like my thought is it becomes a spiritual practice of connecting with nature in this digital physical space. So maybe that's a challenge of patience. Maybe the real question is, will I go back and watch the whole video? Oh, man, why did I have to say this out loud? Because now I'm confronting myself. That's the real challenge. When I make these 1 hour later videos, will I go back and sit through and watch it? Oh, I think I need to, right? That's the point. It can't just be making it for others to have the experience, and I'm just I'm just building the scaffolding for someone else to walk into. I have to the point of it is that I walk into it as well. Okay. Challenge accepted. I will comment on the videos. Well, I got to make the video first. So, okay. This is fun. Thanks for hanging out for however long this has been, talking about patience and things. We'll do it again, maybe tomorrow, sometime soon. There's a lot more of the book left to read. We are this far in, and we have all this goodness left. And I've never read this book before, so it's kind of fun. I haven't live streamed all of them like this. That's been a newish thing for the year, but it's really fun to get to do it with you. It's very selfish. This really exists for me and hearing myself talk, which helps me think out loud. Okay, more to come. See you all. Bye. This is the awkward part where I haven't ended the video yet.